We can review 12/5/2022. Had a really busy week last week. Had some meetings in Santa Cruz, a couple days, really full days. First day, we worked out at CrossFit Santa Cruz Central with Annie Sakamoto. Those of you who don't know CrossFit Santa Cruz Central and that team and that crew, that was basically a spin-off from the first CrossFit gym, which is 200 meters away. Greg's original CrossFit Santa Cruz. Annie and a number of other people, when Greg was moving out of Santa Cruz and heading to Arizona and closing that gym down, they ended up starting their own gym. So CrossFit Santa Cruz Central is one of the oldest CrossFit gyms in the country, in the world, and has a great leader in Annie Sakamoto, who's won the CrossFit Games. She recently, as a Masters, she probably should have won the CrossFit Games in 07 and in that first year, but she didn't want to do it. Her, Nicole, and Eva, they were like the three best CrossFit females at the time. They kind of decided not to do the games that year. And if any one of them would have, they probably would have beat Jolie. Jolie was a great champion, great ambassador for the sport over the years. But I think at that time, well, I know at that time, Annie, Eva, and Nicole were definitely better CrossFitters than Jolie was. The workout that morning at the gym was really tough. I think Jason Layden, who's a really good programmer and a good coach, he has his own podcast. Check his podcast out. I think he programs for the gym. I'm not sure. I should have asked Annie. I know he programmed for Annie, but I'm not sure if he also programs for the gym. It was 3 different 10-minute ANRAPs with 3-minute rests in between. So each one in and of itself was its own workout, challenging workout. The first one it was 3 135-pound hang cleans, then 6 push press with 35-pound dumbbells, run 100 meters, and AMRAP of that for 10 minutes. I was going to go for it, and I was going to try to beat Don, the new CEO, on that one, but he's a little fitter than me. He stayed in front of me the whole time, and I think he might have finished a whole round in front of me. Then the second one was, what was the second one? 3 burpee strict pull-ups into 6 box jumps and over into 12 calories on the Concept 2 rower. That one was stiff too. Same thing. Don was a little better on the rower. I tried to keep him up with him, could not. And then the final one was 6 reverse lunges with a 35-pound dumbbell, 9 push-ups, and 12 or 15 calories on the assault bike. And that was, he took me on that one too. I couldn't keep up. I tried, but I could not. I'm just not as fit as him currently, but I'll get there. So then we had a full day of meetings with the executive team. Really good day. Second day, we started our day off with a workout at Seabright CrossFit. And that workout was cool. It was a team workout. And it was one member of the team pushes the sled 150 meters, a sled with 3 plates, a sled that I think I helped influence with Bill years ago. It's this little, like a sprint sled design, but a small platform. 3 plates on that, 345s. You push it 150 meters. While you're doing that, the other 2 teammates are completing 6 135-pound squat cleans as a team, so share the work. And then you're doing 6 burpee over the bar synchro as a team until the other member gets back. Then the next team member goes, then the final team member goes, so everyone pushes the sled once while you're cleaning and burping, and you do that for 3 rounds. So it was a really long workout. That workout took 37 minutes to take. I did it with Don and Justin, and the squat cleans for me, because I don't do that workout like that much anymore. They were heavy, but I was able to grind through them, and it felt good to. I don't know how many squat cleans I ended up doing. I know those 2 definitely did more than I did, but it felt good to do a lot of high rep, kind of medium to high, not high, but medium weight for me. Really good workout. After that, I needed Friday off. I had gone Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Took Friday off. Oh, let me say something about Seabright CrossFit too. Really cool gym right there in Santa Cruz. Actually, right outside of Santa Cruz. I guess it's in Seabright's area, but I guess that's considered, is it Capitola? Yeah, it's Capitola. And nice little box. great coaching staff. And back to Santa Cruz Central. They're a really nice box. They have a lot of members. They have a lot of people working out there, and saw a lot of people that I haven't seen for a number of years. People from the early days, from the original Greg days. For me, that's like 05, 06. For a lot of them, it's 03, 04. Great vibe at both those gyms if you're in the Santa Cruz area looking for a place to work out. Friday, I took the day off because Saturday we were doing the Spartan Race. And so I had never been to a Spartan Race before, and I actually was pretty much not a fan of Spartan in terms of like let me reframe that. Not a fan of myself doing a Spartan Race. There's a lot of things I don't want to do or have any interest. Actually, triathlon is another one that from my earliest days in the Navy, because it was kind of so popular and because it's kind of what people like me in the Navy were expected to do, I kind of just totally blew that scene off. And they're great athletes. They're really fit. They can do really fit in those three endurance things. They're not easy. They're very challenging, but I never got into triathlons. Same sort of thing. I never got into Spartan Race either. Never thought I would do one. But interestingly, the day after I was fired in early January of this year, the first person to call me and offer me a job was Joe DeSena. So thank you, Joe, for that. Since then, I politely said, hey, I need more time than just the next day to accept the job from Spartan. And we talked and we stayed in contact. And then once I was back, some more channels crossed between us, and we decided to have a conversation. We had a conversation with Don, and we talked about doing something, and Joe suggested rallying behind this Spartan Race and getting some affiliates to come out. And so once we were getting this little single event partnership going, I decided, well, I have to do it. And so that being said, I am really glad I did it. It was a lot of fun. It was much more enjoyable than I thought it would be. And I highly recommend to any CrossFitters or anyone out there who's thought about doing a Spartan Race but wasn't sure if they wanted to or not, dive in and do one. They're fun. This stadium format's the only one I've done now, and I really enjoyed that stadium format. They just ran us all around, up and down the stairs. We did 3 miles, 5K, and they had obstacles out there, different things you had to navigate through. I think someone told me the fastest time was 27 minutes. I ended up getting like 52 minutes, but I felt like I was moving the entire time. There's also like a lot of station backups, so that slowed me down for sure. But I enjoyed pushing myself and tackling the challenges, the monkey bars and the rings. It's funny, on the ring transfer, about halfway through I almost slipped and came off. So then I instantly started using like a hook grip to get through. Actually not a hook grip, but more like a climbing crimp, I think we call it crimp grip, where I was wrapping my thumb over my fingers as I'm transferring on the rings. Luckily I didn't fail on any of the obstacles, so that was pretty cool. It's crazy what they have going on there. They had about 7,000 adults compete that day and go through that. Probably another 500-600 kids. I'm not sure on the kids, but there was a lot of people who came and did that race. They said they started at 7:15, and every minute they were launching new groups, and they went. We were the last groups to go, and they went until 7 or 8 at night. So they're onto something really cool. The vibe there, the community there, it's really neat. It's people running them. There was obviously a lot of non-CrossFitters running them, and I got to see how they go through, how those individuals, even the CrossFitters, were tackling the event. Super supportive of each other, and it's not at all a race. I tried making it my own race. Like I tried going hard and wanted to get through quickly, but there was a lot of people who were just going through for the experience. When you would get to an obstacle, a lot of friend groups and stuff, they're there coaching each other through, helping each other out. And the vibe, the energy, it was super positive. You could tell people really enjoyed the accomplishment and doing it with their friends. So Spartan, they're onto something. And I don't mean this as if it's, these things have been around for a long time. They're definitely the industry leader in the race scene at this point. I'm pretty sure from the little I've seen of that space. But they're doing a really good job. They have a good community of people engaged, and hopefully we can continue to work with them going forward and formalize something a little more. This was not the start of any, we weren't launching any partnership. This was just kind of working with them on a one-off and seeing how we work together and see what we thought of each other. And I was really happy with the event, and I know Don had a really good time. He ran it with his wife, and his children also did the kids course. So that was a really good experience. Highly recommend. And the CrossFit training is like perfect for Spartan Race and the things they do there. Obviously, you need to be a good runner, but just the strength element. They had some cleans with like this log thing. They had I talked about the ring traverse. They had a monkey bar traverse. So upper body strength is pretty important. Cargo net climb, which I think I imagine when I was going up and over, I passed a lot of people. I figured there was a lot of people who were kind of spooked by it's high and it looks like you can fall through it. You obviously can't, or they wouldn't do it. But upper body strength and being fit like we are pays off for something like that. They had another thing that was pretty cool. I liked. They had a sandbag up to a rope, down up to a tower, and you pulled the sandbag up, and then once it hits the top, you lower it down. Man, some of the runners and some of the non-CrossFitting Spartan Race people that I saw doing that were struggling with it so much, but it wasn't bad. They had a rope climb at the end too. They had a thin rope, which was actually not too thin, but a thinner than what we're used to. It was actually not too. It felt better to climb. It was pretty easy to get up, and I just went legless because it was the end of the race, and that was the last thing I was going to do. So highly recommend it. Check them out. Spartan. I don't know if it's Spartan.com or SpartanRace.com. Oh, and they had a spear throw. They had this spear and a wall, and you throw it. And if you don't complete any of these obstacles, you do 15 burpees. Luckily, I was able to get the spear throw on my first try. Then after that, we went to an affiliate, and some of us got together and had some tacos, had a couple drinks. We went to CrossFit Portero Hills in downtown San Francisco. Well, it's actually close to the stadium. And had a good time, had some discussion. Jordan Holland was there, Katie Hogan, and a number of other people from the community. Pretty cool evening. Then I made the 2-hour trek home. Sunday, went to a Dolphins game, and they got crushed. They played the Niners. It's the first time I've been to a game at that stadium, so pretty cool seeing the venue, but the Dolphins did not play well. Cool part about that, one of the SWAT teams I train, they're responsible for working that stadium, and basically they have a hide up there where nobody can see them, and they set up, and it's not internal, it's external, so they're not aiming into the stadium, they're covering outside. And they took me up there, and I got to see some of their setup, and they asked for some advice, and it looked great. There was none to be given, and it was cool seeing some of the stuff that I had worked with them on before, some of the tools and techniques I'd showed them. Basically, they had staged in there or were actively using, and so that was a highlight of the day for me for sure, was checking in on that team and seeing their setup, and knowing that I'd contributed to their knowledge for some of the skills they were using in that scenario. It was pretty rewarding because I train all these teams that you see that I post about or talk about. I train them for free just to give back, because I do have some knowledge and some experience to give back, and I have the means to do it. I have the facility to do it. I have the experience, and so it means a lot to me to be able to give back to those guys. This Saturday coming up, I have a shooting competition, a 22 competition. There's been a couple people who've found these competitions from the Week in Review. So if you're watching the Week in Review and you're in the area and you want to sign up and shoot a 22 long-range precision shooting competition, even if it's your first time, go to practicescore.com and sign up. Actually, Jason Kalipa's coming. So Jason and his son are going to be shooting their first match on Saturday too. So if you want to shoot with Jason, if you want to shoot with us, or if you want to shoot for the first time, go to practicescore.com and sign up. And I have loaner guns and loaner ammo. Last thing I think I want to just highlight for a brief moment is the Liver King thing. So it came out last week that Liver King was juicing, and everybody's been accusing him of juicing for his entire time he's been famous anyways. I mean, it's not much of a surprise. I think the disappointing part is how vocal he was that he was not. So how much he was lying to everyone. That part is, it's almost like he shouldn't have lied about it in the first place, but he should have just almost avoided those questions or challenging it or acknowledging it if he was so fucking guilty. Or let's even unwind that one step backwards. He shouldn't have done that in the first place. I've had a few conversations with him. Didn't really get to know him. Seemed like a nice guy. And I know Sevon, he and Sevon hit it off, and Sevon really likes him. Sevon doesn't think it's too much of a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal either. Except for, like, here's the thing. If it really bothers you and if you have a problem with it, the best way you could act on it is don't purchase his product, don't consume his content, don't support him in that way. And if you want to be angry about it, if you don't care, then continue using his product, continue supporting him through purchasing his product and consuming his media via his Instagram and wherever else he posts. But it is what it is. All right. Thanks a lot. See you guys next week.